Welcome to the Hometown Bluegrass Show weekly podcast presented by Allen Music Shop. Co-hosts Tim Batts and 20-time Bluegrass Guitar Player of the Year Josh Williams will talk about the latest bluegrass news, interview folks in the industry, and give you lighthearted stories and music tips along the way. Now, here's Tim and Josh.
Hey, buddy. How you doing, man?
Hello.
You're live.
I am.
Man. How you doing?
Live. Oh, I'm hanging in here, man. How about you?
I'm hanging in here.
Well, good. We're like two hairs in a biscuit, ain't we?
Hanging in there like two hairs in a biscuit. That's right. That's right.
Oh,
I made it back from Spigma alive and dodged all the potholes on I-24 and made
That's
it back.
good. That's good.
Yep.
How was it? I wish I could have went.
Spigma was pretty good. And it was lots and lots of people, so they had a good crowd for sure. Really good entertainment. I went mainly for the Saturday afternoon and the award show, and that was good. The Larry Stevenson band, I loved them. I thought that was really good. The Grascals played. Of course, Rhonda Vincent and the Rage played, and that was good. And so yeah, it was some really good music.
So how was the Lash Stephenson band?
Lash Stephenson was good.
Good.
That dude can sing high, can't he?
Well, he can sing high.
And his banjo player is really good. I don't know the boy's name.
Really?
Yeah, but
I don't know who's playing with him anymore.
I didn't know his name, but I mean, wow. But yeah, they were a good band. Good. That's the first time I'd ever seen Larry live, so that was pretty cool.
I've played a lot of music with Larry over the years.
Yeah. Did he play with you at Station Inn?
He did, yeah.
I saw a video of that recently.
It was 2019, I think.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of recent because it was Mickey Harris was on the bass. And
Yeah, it was the Rage pretty.
Yeah.
Well, it was Aaron and
was
Mickey.
on fiddle.
Aaron and Mickey.
Or Aaron was on banjo.
And we had Jason Carter playing fiddle.
Yeah.
And
Larry was on mandolin.
Lash, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, welcome to the Hometown Bluegrass Show. We excited to be here, presented by AllenMusicShop.com. And we're here in Allen Music Shop recording this podcast. There's surrounded by just amazing instruments and all kind of musical equipment. So, be sure and check them out online or downtown Paducah and come in here in person. Josh teaches guitar lessons here, and
I do.
has a great time with that. Gosh, he's here like almost every night.
3 nights a week.
Three nights a week, yeah. So
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings after work, I'm here.
Yep. So after his regular day job, he's here teaching guitar. So I know they're excited to have him here. And speaking of which, I guess it was last week we were recording a podcast. Something happened.
Yes, something happened.
Yeah. So Josh was. I'll preface it, and then you can take off one. So he's upstairs teaching guitar lessons to someone, and this building's 100 and something years old.
Yes.
So the stairs are a little old fashioned.
Yeah, the stairs came off the ark.
Yeah. So Josh is coming down carrying a $3,000 Martin guitar, and what happened?
And I missed a stair.
Yeah, and the guitar didn't fare so well.
Yeah, well, neither one of us really fared that great, but I definitely did better than the guitar did.
Yes. Josh ends up in the ER. The guitar ends up in the Luther shop.
That's exactly right, except I didn't have a break, luckily. But the guitar did.
Yeah.
The top busted on it. So
your cord in hand, your left wrist.
That's right, man. I landed on that and my tailbone, and man, I am still bruised on my tailbone.
Yeah,
but my wrist seems to be okay, thankfully.
Josh, pull your pants up, man. We don't need to see your
I just wanted
tailbone.
proof,
Well, thanks a lot for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I know you'd like that.
It's kind of sexy.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, but anyway, yeah, the guitar didn't fare so well, but
It did not, man, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's what you get for playing a 00 something. And not
It was a
Dreadnought.
0035 is what it was. Man, it was a good sounding guitar. It's the only 00 I've ever played thus far that actually did not sound like one.
Yeah.
Not that they sound bad, but it had that big, beefy, throaty Dreadnought sound to it. You know? And I was like, wow. So, and on the upside, however, I bought the nicest little triple O last week. I'm just kidding. I didn't actually have to buy it, thankfully. But if had it been anywhere else and anybody else other than Brandon Allen, I probably would have had a time financially with it. But the first thing when I called him and said, "Hey, you probably don't want to put me upstairs anymore," and he laughed and said, "Why is that?" And I told him the first thing he said was, "Are you okay? I don't care about the guitar. Are you okay?"
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's the kind of people they are. So.
But I got home and my you couldn't see where my wrist was. So like from my elbow all the way down to my hand was all the same.
Oh, wow.
It was all, it looked like a leg.
Yeah. Well,
So
he did this right before we were recording with Jason McKendry last week, and we was wondering where he was at. Jason was like, "Well, I don't know where he's at," and finally here he come in, and so he had taken a tumble. But glad you're all right, man.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm all right too. So, but I was able to tough through it. Tough through picking last week with him, and obviously the pain got worse.
Yeah,
after that.
Yeah, several days after it was pretty sore.
Yes. So,
well, Spigma was fun. Lots of great winners. The Cody North show kind of racked up and stunk the show up with so many awards. I mean, that band won everything you could possibly imagine. But excited. Our guest that we are going to be interviewing later tonight, Miss Rhonda Vincent, won Female Vocalist of the Year. That was cool.
That's awesome.
She was there performing in some of their new singles that are coming out, and that was a lot of fun. The Grascals performed, and they're always a treat to watch. And but
there was one performance that I wish I could have been there to see.
What's that?
And that was the New Tradition reunion show.
Yeah, I missed that too. It was earlier in the day, and we didn't get there in time to see that. But and
Richie Dotson, the original banjo player, was the one playing banjo, and he hadn't played, which I've known Richie all my life, and he has just within the last year started playing again. And in fact, I even talked to him today. He said, "Man, it was so cool to hear that you're playing again and all that." And he said, "I feel like I've got my right hand back,
Oh, cool.
And that's just awesome. I'm so happy for him for doing that, because I know how much he missed it and how good he was at one time. And he and his brother both started playing music again. So I think that's great.
Good. That's so good to hear. Just looking through some of the winners, of course, Guitar Performer of the Year, which you've won many, many times, Mr. Kenny Smith.
Great. Yeah, Kenny's great, man.
Yeah, hard to argue that. Kenny and Amanda Smith are great to see if you ever get a chance to see them live. Alan Bobby won Mandolin Player of the Year, and of course, Russell Moore, Male Vocalist of the Year.
You can never argue with that one.
No, you can't.
That's one of those kind of like Tony Rice Guitar Player of the Year or Doc Watson Guitar Player of the Year. Right. It's our Chubby Wise Fiddle Player of the Year. I mean, that's just one of those things where it's like that just should be how it is.
Exactly. Of course, we had Russell Moore's new bass player on the show with us a couple weeks ago. Colton Baker was here with us, and had a good time with him. And so I texted him. Of course, I was at the show, and so as soon as they announced it, I texted him, and Russell wasn't there. I think they were out on a show somewhere. But anyway, that was pretty cool. Pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
So, you got any other news you know about?
Well, yeah, I got a couple of things here. A bluegrass promoter, of course, was Ernie Evans, which was Ernie took over all of Norman Adams festivals, which were some of the bigger ones in the country. Let's see, Kyle Cantrell, of course, DJ of the Year.
Yep.
Hopefully one of these days we'll get Tim Batts as DJ of the Year.
Yeah.
We'll work on that.
Yeah, won't that be awesome?
Of course, Donna Ulysses won Songwriter.
Yep. She was sick, couldn't be there.
Bless her heart. Well, I think what's really cool, I love that Edgar, because I love Edgar. He's a great guy. Edgar Loudermilk, just a great dude, and we've been friends for many years. I'm glad to see that he got Bass Player of the Year. He very rarely gets recognized, and there's a lot of performers that are overlooked, unfortunately, in every association there is that does this. They're often not always considered just because maybe they're not, in the most popular band, or maybe they're, not doing this or not doing that. But I mean, there's just, you always have like probably 5 people always the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm glad that that's not the case.
Yeah.
And
I wanted to ask you about that. I've thought about this so many times, and we're, you and I are going to keep it real. We're down and dirty.
Oh, yeah.
So how, I know all this is fan voted, right?
yes.
And so, a lot of it's popularity, a lot of it's this and that. Cody North Show won 7 awards, they're just hot right now. There's a lot of other great bands out there.
And Cody's a great entertainer.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. There's no doubt about it.
So I guess it's just amazing to me how certain people win at certain years and some people don't, I don't know. You have any insight to that?
Well, I honestly, I'm extremely grateful for every time I won, every award I've ever won. But there does come a moment when you start to feel like there are other players, that need to be recognized. And I did feel like that. I felt like, there's, it always to me feels weird walking up on stage and accepting an award that Brian Sutton, that Kenny Smith, that Doc Watson, Tony Rice. Like, I had to accept IBMA's Guitar Player of the Year award in front of Tony Rice in the audience. And
I didn't think about that.
Tony was quite funny about it because we had just started playing music some together, but he was so funny because I caught him coming into the backstage part. It was at the Ryman that year, and I had caught him coming in, and he said, "Hey, I hope they give that to you." And I said, "Well, shoot, man, that's nice of you to say." He said, "Yeah, because I got a lot of money riding on you."
He done that on you.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was great. And then, the second time, because I did win that one 3 years consecutively. So the second year, he was like, "Hey, Josh, great job," And literally the third year, he called me. He wasn't at that one that year, but he called and he said, "I want to remind you that I have a North Carolina concealed weapons permit."
That's great.
Yeah, he was awesome, man. Awesome guy. And,
oh, that is so cool.
But yeah, there's just something about that, it's weird. But honestly, every single person that is out playing on the festival circuit deserves to have that, because that particular one being voted on by the fans, I mean, that's everybody out there deserves it, because we're all out there doing the same thing, and who's to say that one person is better than the other,
right.
Or, we're all completely different.
Right.
So
that's what I wanted. The average fan, how can they tell the difference in a lot of the musicians,
yeah.
The people who don't maybe play an instrument themselves, That's what I found interesting.
Yeah.
How do you know this guitar player is better than this guitar player?
Well, and that's something that's really important to keep in mind, is that winning those awards has nothing to do with who's better and who's not. The stigma happens to be the fans love whoever and they vote that person. With IBMA, it's more of the peers that are voting on it. So not that one's more important than the other, but, one is technically national and the other one is technically international. So there's not a huge number of bluegrass pickers in other countries, So, most of the time it's going to be us here in this normal circuit that end up winning. But, it has nothing to do with who's better, who's not.
Right.
It's just one of those things where it could be, let's say Kenny Smith wins IBMA Guitar Player of the Year. Well, Kenny worked on this many records this year, and he had, a solo record out that people just absolutely loved, and he had this particular song, and it gets Song of the Year, and that kind of thing. And that's all great, And in that kind of sense, when you're looking at the things that have been accomplished throughout the year, then that guy does deserve Guitar Player of the Year. However, the same person getting it over and over again, and I say this for myself with Spigma being 17 times, and I, again, I was never ungrateful, and I'm still not. I'm very thankful, but it almost seems like almost unfair to other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember being a kid and being at IBMA. It was still in Owensboro at this time, but Slide Rule, the Jerry Douglas album, had just come out, and it won. So the opening song on this album is the theme song for IBMA now. It's called Shoulder to Shoulder, I think, or something like that. But anyway, he won Album of the Year, Recorded Performance of the Year, just one after another. And he ended up, and I know he didn't mean it to be bad, he ended up having to write an apology in Bluegrass Unlimited for this, but he got up on stage after accepting like 6 awards and was like, this is kind of getting boring. And I knew what he meant. Yeah. He should not have said that, and he knew it, and immediately apologized. But I see his point. It's like you watch one person win all this different stuff all the time, and it kind of gets, why go,
Right.
Because who's going to win.
Yeah.
The cool part about it is, like, for the last few years, even the years that I won, I was an underdog, like I was, up against Kenny and Brian Sutton and Tony Rice and Doc Watson. And, it's like, how do I get that? That still doesn't make sense to me. But, it's just, it's a interesting situation.
Yeah, it is. I've always found it very interesting how it worked. But, well, we've got a great guest coming up later on. We're going to take a quick break and take a little 90-second break and get some great sponsorship in here. And we want to thank them for supporting bluegrass music. And we come back, maybe we could talk guitars. Josh has his guitar laying here, and we kind of get some tips from him and see what he uses. And
I brought my guitar this time.
Yeah, he brought his. That way, if he falls and breaks it, it's his own guitar.
That's right.
I thought that's funny. So
hopefully that won't happen.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, you're listening to the Hometown Bluegrass Show. We'll be right back.
Stick around.
Right after this. Allen Music, located in historic downtown Paducah, Kentucky, is your source for fine guitars and all types of acoustic instruments. At Allen Music, we are experienced and enthusiastic players of everything we offer. Allen Music is family-owned and has been serving musicians since 1976. So stop by and thank them for supporting bluegrass music. Allen Music, 215 Kentucky Avenue, downtown Paducah, or check them out online at allenmusicshop.com.
Custom Automotive in Calvert City, Kentucky has been a family-operated business for over 50 years. When you call Custom Automotive, you'll talk to an experienced tire and wheel expert. They install wheels and tires on thousands of vehicles every year in addition to their online sales. Stop by and thank them for supporting bluegrass music. Custom Automotive, Highway 62, Calvert City, Kentucky, 270-395-7611. Or visit them online at customautoonline.com.
The Lake House Inn at Sled Creek has undergone complete renovation in 2023. Our outdoor space is unlike any other at Kentucky Lake. With 2 in-ground pools, 18 rooms, and 4 cabins, we're just a stone's throw away from Kentucky Dam. If you're looking to make memories with your family, this nostalgic inn is for you. Welcome to your lake house, where modern meets rustic and becomes home. Reserve online at lakehouseinn.com. lakehouseinn.com. So thankful for our sponsors that keep great bluegrass music and this great podcast going and coming out to you on all your great podcast platforms and on timbats.com. You can find it on there. So we're really thankful to all of the sponsors and especially Allen Music Shop, who lets us record here inside the music store. So that's pretty cool. So speaking of Guitar Player of the Year, Josh brought his own guitar this week so that he didn't bust it. Or if he did, it was his own guitar. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what kind of guitar you play and give us, all those guitar players out there, some tips on strings, guitars. And
This is my normal box. This is the one that I play all the time, exclusively.
Yeah.
This is made by a fella by the name of Dana Bourgeois up in Maine, the bluegrass capital of the world, you know, up there in Lewiston, Maine. But actually, Skaggs kind of put him on the map back in the early 90s when he came out with the Bluegrass Rules album, because everybody was playing Bourgeois guitars on there. And Brian Sutton played one of his for a long time. I know Cody Kilby played one for a long time. But I got to where I got to hang out with Dana and Andrew and Nick and some of the other guys that are up there, and got to basically just become friends with them and play some different guitars that he had brought. And we kind of talked about, you know, maybe we could work something out one of these days. Dana was very intuitive. He wanted to know what I played, what I liked, what kind of sound I liked, why I liked it, and knew my connection with Tony Rice, and he actually was able to have Tony's guitar for a short time and do measurements on it. And back around 2013, I think it was, actually built a guitar, and it was going to be auctioned off, and the proceeds were going to go to Tony to help him out. And that happened, and I don't remember who it was that won it, but Chris Eldridge, Critter, was the one that was videoed playing it, you know, for everybody to see. Mm-hmm. And it was very similar to this one that I'm holding in my hands. It's got the large sound hole like Tony's guitar. It has the blank fingerboard, but I believe that this is Engelmann. No, excuse me. It's Adirondack spruce, red spruce, and the back and sides are just beautiful Brazilian rosewood. Yeah. And Dana and I, when we were talking about all this, it was just kind of one of those things where it's like he wanted me to have a particular guitar. He didn't know which one yet. You know, I told him I loved the large sound hole things. He said, so what we're going to do is we're going to go with a large sound hole D28 style for you. And when I get the right one, I will let you know. He was going to, like, find me the one that suited for me, he thought. Mm-hmm. So a year went by. We hung out at IBMA again, and that's when this particular conversation happened, was the second year, when he said, this is what I want to do and get you playing one of ours. And I got a phone call from Andrew about February or so of the following year, which would have been 2020, I guess.
Right before the world stopped.
Yes, right before the world ended there for a little while. And he said, Dana has found your guitar. I said, really? He said, yeah. So we're going to be shipping it to you. I was like, okay, great. You know, so like around the first week or so of March, I ended up getting it. It literally came to my house in the mail.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, it was kind of cool. But I got it out, and it was just, even at that moment, it was just clear as a bell.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's beautiful. If you want to see what this looks like, obviously this is an audio podcast, but you can go to our Facebook page, the Hometown Bluegrass Show, and we'll post some pictures of it on there, and you can check it out. So it is beautiful. The back is just amazing.
yeah, I'm very proud of this bourgeois guitar, and proud to be able to be playing his guitars exclusively. So
Now, do you always use the same kind of strings, or do you swap up?
I do. I use elixirs, and I had to deal with elixir for a little while, and I guess technically I still do. But I always just work with Brandon as far as that stuff goes. He's helped me out over the years so many times that I continually give him business here at Allen Music and get my strings from him.
Yeah.
Because I can usually get them about the same price, honestly. So he always does good with that. So, but I do love the elixir strings. Those are the ones that I prefer. Each guitar is different. This particular guitar likes the phosphor bronze better than the 80-20 bronze. My other guitar that's built by Todd Sams that I play, sometimes I'll keep it. It's got more of a. It's still a rosewood. It's a Mexican rosewood, but it has a lot of the mahogany sense to it. Whereas
D18 kind of feel.
The D18 sound.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. Now that guitar likes 80-20s. It does not like the phosphor bronze. That's just weird how that works. But,
Yeah.
But
Do you always use the same kind of pick, or do you just grab what you got, or what? You have a preference on that?
I use one of two things. I use either a piece of tortoiseshell, or I will play a blue chip. Matt Goins down in East Tennessee has his company, Blue Chip Picks, and I don't know what they're made out of, but they do last a long time. And if I'm not using shell, that's what I'm using.
Yeah.
So always, and it's always the same shape. It's the TP, and I remember that because toilet paper.
Right,
So,
exactly, because you're full of crap, right?
See, that's right. That's right. So I use either a TP 35 or TP 40. So
I got you.
and I think stands for the 1,000ths of the whatever it is, 1,000ths of an inch or something like that.
Do you like the three corners to be the same, or one corner?
No, I like them all the same.
All the same.
Because I'll flip at any point.
Yeah.
You never know.
Gets it twisted around your hand.
It does sometimes, but also you can, like, especially with tortoiseshell, you can really hear, like, the scratchiness. Sometimes, you kind of wear into it a little bit, and then you have to kind of flop to get rid of that.
Now, what about capo? Do you have a preference on what kind of capo you use?
This is an Elliott capo. I have some other capos that do work well. I just prefer this one. This particular one was a gift from Scott Elliott, and I very much appreciate him for doing that and being a good friend. But that's my preference, and he's just a great machinist, and this is the McKinney style capo that people know of in the bluegrass world. Originally, Tom McKinney came up with the idea and machined a few capos and gave them to some of the artists, and obviously it caught on. So, everybody wanted one, so he started making them, and then eventually sold his idea and patent to some different people, and so it's pretty standard bluegrass capo today.
Yeah. Well, why don't you play us something on that bourgeois guitar?
Okay, I'll try this. Try a little Church Street Blues, since I haven't done that yet, have I?
It don't matter. It's one of my favorites. So
Maybe I have done it.
yeah, I think you did it a few podcasts ago, but it doesn't matter to me. It's one of my favorite songs.
Oh, I know what I should do.
All right.
Once in a lifetime there's a man who comes along and changes everything with wood, shell, and wire in his hand. Another session from the master and the all he left behind. Now we're forced to turn the pages of a story so divine. Now only love and legacy remain. For so long you were a mystery untold, all alone inside a crowded room, yet somehow you were always in control. As if you knew just what I needed in the bottom of my soul. You would find a way to say it with your shoulder getting cold, and the sound of that old guitar in your hand. Of all the precious memories that I hold, the ones that mean the most are all the stories that you told. If I could just go back and trace your footprints in the snow, I'd have you tell them all just one more time before you go. If I could say one thing before you go, I'd make sure you knew I loved you. I might say it in a voice that you would know, with my guitar and a flat pick backing up an angel band. And I know you've gone to join them, yet you still got my hand. And everywhere I go, you come along. Of all the precious memories that I hold, the ones that mean the most are all the stories that you told. If I could just go back and trace your footprints in the snow, I'd have you tell them all just one more time before you go. If I could just go back and trace your footprints in the snow, I'd have you tell those stories one more time before you go.
Well, that was just the prettiest thing I ever heard.
Thank you. That's a song that I wrote with Dan Tominski, and that is about Tony. That is a song that Dan recorded on a EP that he put out, I guess, later in 2021, called One More Time Before You Go, and that's our tribute to T. Rice. So
That's awesome. I've heard it before, but it's something just with the guitar like that. It's pretty special.
Well, that's how it was written.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. Well, we are excited about our guest tonight on this episode of the podcast, Miss Rhonda Vincent, your 2024 Spigma Female Vocalist of the Year, and many other awards that have come about.
And my old boss.
And Josh's old boss. So
That's right.
I can't wait to pick her brain about how Josh used to get on her nerves.
Man, she could write a book, let me tell you.
All the crazy things he did and just frustrated the crap out of her, probably.
Yes, I did.
Well, we're going to find out from her, and we're excited to talk with her. So you guys stick around. Miss Rhonda Vincent is coming up right after this.
For over 50 years, Puckett's Jewelry in Benton, Kentucky has been a trusted choice for fine jewelry that will last a lifetime and help you celebrate life's most precious moments. The new owners, Bart and Hannah Lewis, are excited to continue the Puckett's Jewelry legacy in Marshall County and are proud to support bluegrass music. Puckett's Jewelry on the Square in Benton, Kentucky. Visit them online at puckettsjewelry.com.
Bats Creative Audio is not just a DJ service. We can provide audio for your event, either with live sound, live band, or singers. We do weddings, parties, reunions, festivals, and most any event that needs fun, entertaining music. We are prompt, professional, and have many years of experience in the wedding business. So whether it's your special day or you just want to make your party more fun, give Tim Batts a call at 270-217-2119. The Duck Blind, located in Barlow, Kentucky, is your neighborhood restaurant, bar, and grill. Stop by and try their burgers, the shotgun fixins, the greenhead taco salad, or the pintail pizza. They also are a full-service spirit store with a drive-thru. It's a great family atmosphere with live music on the back patio. The Duck Blind Bar and Grill in Barlow, Kentucky. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the Hometown Bluegrass Show. I am your host, Tim Batts, and I am here with
Me,
20-time Bluegrass Guitar Player of the Year, Clem Cadiddlehopper.
that still sounds so weird. 20.
I know it.
Clam could what?
I don't know.
Who?
But anyway, hey, we're wasting time. We've got a bigger name on the other line. We don't have time for your shenanigans, Josh.
That's right.
So we are fortunate to have Miss Rhonda Vincent on the phone with us tonight. How are you doing?
Hello there. Hey, I'm doing good. We've had a few detours tonight or today, but we're all doing good.
Yeah, well, I heard.
I'm glad to talk to you guys.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you taking the time. Your buses broke down. You're heading to the Grand Ole Opry, and it's all kind of chaos going on.
That's what we're making lemonade out of lemons. That's what we're doing.
That's what you do. That's exactly right. Well, thanks for taking the time with us. I thought it'd be really cool to have you and Josh together and have you tell us a lot of dirt on him. So,
I can tell you lots of things about Josh Williams.
You
Absolutely.
have no idea what you have opened up.
that's what I wanted.
That's right.
I wanted that can
Tell me
wide
what
open.
you'd like to know.
That's what we want.
Do you
Well,
want to know the first time I was there or the second time? Because I can promise you one of those times went way better than the other did.
Well, that's true.
well, we'll keep it a nice show, and we won't make you look too bad. So.
Okay.
But Rhonda's on her way to the Grand Ole Opry right now, and so we're going to try to do this interview before she gets there. And thanks again for taking the time. So, you know what?
It's kind of like Cash Cab, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. We got so much time before you get there to talk it out. So
Yeah, I like it.
that's cool. Well, a lot of people interview you and all, they talk about growing up in Missouri and the family band and all that, and that's great. I think a lot of people know your story. I think for our deal, since Josh and I host this Hometown Bluegrass Show podcast together, and I thought it would be cool to kind of just talk to you about from the Rage on, like how did the Rage start? When did it become Rhonda Vincent and the Rage?
I mean, I think I did 2 country albums, and through 95, 96, 97, about 1999, then I was kind of at a crossroads after the 2 country albums. And that's when I got together with some friends, Alan Jones and Joey Winneman and Earl Heath. And we just were kind of playing in the living room. And then we said, hey, Rhonda, Alan, Joey, and Earl, the Rage. And that's how it's kind of started. We did a few festivals, and then from there, Alan, Joey, and Earl were no longer in the Rage. We changed it to RAGE, and I guess it wasn't the very first incarnation, but it was very near there. And Josh Williams was one of the first fiddle players in the Rage.
Yeah,
that's right.
And people say, I didn't even know that Josh played the fiddle. It's like Josh Williams plays everything, and he plays it all so incredibly well.
He told me a couple of weeks ago he played the fiddle for you, and then the next time he saw you, didn't even remember who he was.
That's the ongoing joke. There's a guy online, and and I just saw him last night. I think his name is Mason, and he's come to see us to our shows, and he always gets a picture. And he will post it and say, well, I just met Rhonda Vincent for the 5th time, and she still doesn't remember who I am. So don't feel bad.
See,
I mean, if you don't have a conversation with somebody and you don't I don't know that I know their name, but yeah,
exactly.
I saw Josh.
Exactly. First time I met you in person was 2013. Okay, so I don't know if you remember this, but my brother-in-law promoted a bluegrass festival called the Sweetgrass Music Festival in Charleston, South Carolina. Michael Merle and my sister Angela, they did this. And we were at the Patriot Point where the big aircraft carrier was. This was 2013. I had to call him today to find out. And so that's the first time I met you, and we talked. And so that was a long time ago. The festival only made it a couple years before he lost a bunch of money and had to stop.
Oh, no.
That's the plight of the bluegrass festival around the world.
Isn't it though? That's for sure. So, but anyway, we had a great time, and
so let me clear this up. In her defense,
here we go.
In her defense, it happened to be which I played one weekend with her. Okay, so I played in Eminence, Missouri. I went out there, played a weekend with her, and then I saw her maybe, it was Grass Valley, so however long that would have been what, 2 months or
probably
like
so.
That.
You had grown up. I mean, you're so young. You had probably grown like in those 2 months. No wonder I didn't recognize you.
I had just graduated high school.
See?
But whenever I played with her, I was still in school, so I only just drove out there for the weekend, and then I had to come back, back to school and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was in Grass Valley at the Father's Day Bluegrass Festival out there in Grass Valley, California.
Yes, and that's the first beginnings of having a band. I'm still trying to navigate even having a band and managing a band and all the things that go with that. So there was a lot of different varying factors. But if you talk to Mason, it hasn't changed any because I still can't remember him. So maybe there is no defense to that.
Oh, that's so funny.
Probably not.
Yeah, well,
I told him earlier before we got on the phone with you, I said 2013 I met Rhonda in Charleston. I said, and you were there too. I said, I was the MC, and I said, hey, I'm Tim Batts, and I'm from your area. I'm from Paducah. You know, and he goes, oh, okay. And he just walked away.
Did he remember that?
No. I said, you were a jerk. He said, yeah, I probably was a jerk.
Oh my God.
I said, in my defense, I probably just woke up whenever we saw it. But that's still no excuse.
So.
Still no excuse.
I said, well, 11
you
years
know what?
you've
It's
mellowed
good
out.
that Josh is nicer these days.
Exactly. The baby's growing up, ain't he, Rhonda?
Oh, my
Yes. He was a youngster.
I know it. Well,
you know, and that's one of the really fun things about having young musicians, and I get to see them, you know, as they perfect their craft and they just get better and better, and you get to watch that. It's very exciting. We were at Spigma last weekend, and I can't believe all of the kids that are playing. And I mean, the resources are so much better now that they're learning so much faster. You know, you can watch YouTube and on all of the different, and so many online lessons. And so it's a really great thing. I love that. I love, seeing and hearing and discovering new musicians.
Oh, I know. My wife and I were there.
Such as we did with Josh.
At Spigma, and, saw your performance Saturday night. Congratulations on Female Vocalist of the Year, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was such a fun weekend.
It was.
And we shot a music video there on Saturday.
I was there. I was just telling Josh, I was like...
Were you in the music video too?
Well, I was in the crowd watching, and I said,
nice.
I'm so excited. I said, when we talked to her, I said, I really want to ask her about City of New Orleans, how that came about, but I really want to ask her how Please, Mr. Please come out. I said, we got to see her play it like 10 times in a row.
We did it probably 75 times on Saturday.
Oh my gosh. It's stuck in my head.
Is this not the greatest way? It's the greatest way to promote a song, I think. I'm going to have to do this every year now.
It is. It was great. And it was, of course, stuck in my head ever since, And
I love it.
But I went back to Paducah and was like, okay, now I've heard that song as a kid. I know it's a country song where, so then I found out Olivia Newton-John.
Olivia Newton-John, 1975.
Yeah. How in the world did you get a hold of that and what brought that on?
I mean, well, I remember when it came out. So the crazy thing, I'm working on a Destinations project. Jeannie Seeley wrote a new song called I Miss Missouri. And then that kind of, it's like, I miss Missouri. We should do get songs about destinations. And so that's what we started. I made a list, City of New Orleans, that's how I got to Memphis, all these different songs. And I selected songs to record from that. So 4 Strong Winds, the Ian Tyson song, is on there. And I was working on that in the studio and listening to it. And I stood up, turned around and put my elbows on the pool table that was nearby and just started singing Please, Mr. Please. So I've got to go back now and listen to 4 Strong Winds and see what prompted
what triggered it.
This song. Yeah, something triggered Please, Mr. Please from the song 4 Strong Winds. And if you think of the two, they don't correlate at all.
There is nothing similar about them.
Well, there's got to be something. There's got to be a melody or something. Because I literally just turned around and started singing it. There's something that's so...
Well, the harmonies,
I can't wait to check it out.
The harmonies in the chorus of that song are just infectious. I mean...
I'm loving this song so
me
much.
too.
I love
my wife and I sang it all weekend, and it's like,
oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. I can't wait to hopefully have it done very soon, and that video will be out soon. And so we'll make sure that we can send it to you so you can play on your show.
Yes, absolutely. I can't wait to play it. I'll be playing that one a bunch. So speaking of which, City of New Orleans. Now, where in the world did that come up?
Well, it was on the list. The list of destinations.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So it was just happen, and so as we recorded the song, and there were a lot of very unlikely songs. People are going to be very surprised, I think, of the songs that we recorded. That I never dreamed I would record, but they ended up being destinations. Country Roads is on there, and I'm trying to think of the other songs I can't think of the other songs right now. But
Country Roads. Did you do the Osborne Brothers version, or did you do the John Denver more straight version?
I think we kind of created our own a little bit. It starts with a fiddle, just a like fiddle playing, and then we go into it, and it goes out with the fiddle too. So.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And maybe what we kind of did a unique thing on Beautiful Star. Maybe Adam can create something to go on Country Roads like that.
Yeah. I heard your twin fiddles on Beautiful Star while we were at Spickman. That was pretty amazing.
Oh yeah.
That was cool. So how far away are you from the Grand Ole Opry?
we're getting
on the
close,
Briley?
but not. Yeah, we're on Briley.
Oh, okay.
We just hit a pothole.
Oh, they were terrible. I was just telling Josh.
Oh, my goodness.
We were just
lost
there.
the EGR valve on that one, too.
We're at the Opry Mills exit, so we got to get up to the Music Valley Drive.
Well, you're getting close.
We're getting closer.
So, before you get to the Grand Ole Opry and have to hop out, give us some dirt on Josh. Tell us what's his quirk. What's his? I know he has to have some quirks.
He does not have enough time.
Hey, listen, what happens on the bus stays on the bus.
Yeah, he mentioned that.
That's kind of the rule,
There was a lot of stuff that didn't happen on the bus, though. Is the thing. Like the Wildwood Lodge, I had to run off of the bus.
There's some things we can't talk about. Now there was a time
rough.
There's something that happened with Josh that's not ever happened with anyone else. I was so upset one day and I just started shaking him.
Like literally.
Well, yeah,
I said,
that happened.
I will. That's probably the only thing I can really say. But it's like, come on, Josh.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, get it together.
I can see you.
And I literally started shaking him.
You're like what, 5'2"?
I'm 5'2", and
Josh is like
he's 7 feet. So
6'6" or 6'5", whatever he is.
Oh,
I can just see you standing there in front of him with his shoulders in your hand.
Well, that's the second thing that she did that she's only done to me. The first thing was she rehired me.
All right.
She's never done that before either.
No, I had never. You know what? In the history of this band, he's the only person I have ever rehired a second time.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Well, you feel special, buddy.
That's right. That's right.
You are, Josh. You are very special.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Well, you're special too, Rhonda. Thank you so much. I'm sorry your bus broke down, but I'm so glad we got to have this conversation.
Well, me too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really appreciate you.
Call me again when we're not in such chaos.
Yes, we will. We'll definitely have you on the air.
Because I know a lot of things I can tell you about Josh Williams.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Okay.
She can write a book.
Yeah,
I could write a book. Yes, I could.
All right, girl. Well, y'all have fun at the Grand Ole Opry, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Many blessings. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, it was so exciting to have Rhonda Vincent on our show tonight. Even in light of her circumstances, the bus breaking down and her having to take a car over to the Grand Ole Opry. Were they on their way somewhere else?
They were going to be headed to Texas, from what I understood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you. So the bus breaks down, so she just
That's part of it, man.
Makes lemonade out of lemons.
That's right, man. and she taught me how to do that. I will say that I was not good at that whenever I first joined her band.
Not good at taking situations lightly and just making the best of it.
That's right. I was not.
What'd you do? Get frustrated?
I did. I'd get frustrated. I wanted things to be a certain way, and that did not work out well for me.
Well, I understand that. I'm kind of the same way. So, but sometimes we just gotta put on our big boy britches and go on about it. You know.
I love that she did talk about how she came up with the name The Rage. But one thing she did not say, when she had mentioned about it being Rhonda, Alan, Joey, and Earl, Joey did not start with a G.
Right, yeah.
So it started out as Rage, which was Raje. But there were so many people that would mess that up, because they would think, well, it can't just be that simple.
Right.
So they would like put the little Tilly or whatever they call that thing.
Yeah, a little hyphen thing.
Yeah, the little exclamation, or not exclamation, but the accent point, So people were calling it Rhonda Vincent and the Raje and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, man.
So she's like, let's just make this a lot simpler.
Yeah. Redneck it down and just call it
right.
The Rage.
That's right.
Well, it was good to hear you two banter back and forth, and I'm sure there's tons of stories, and we'll have to have her on again sometime.
Yes, yeah, we definitely
when
will.
She's got more time. We kind of caught her at a crazy time, but we're so glad she decided to join us. So
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. So, well, folks, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Hometown Bluegrass Show. I know we've had a blast doing it right here at Allen Music, and I love doing this with you, man. I think it's awesome.
Me too, man. I really enjoy this.
I look forward to it every week. So we hope you do too. You've been listening to the Hometown Bluegrass Show presented by Allen Music Shop.com. I'm Tim Batts.
Josh Williams.
We'll see you next time.
Take care, y'all.
This has been a Batts Creative Audio production.